Hey everyone, it's Joy here for Tailored Expressions, and I am so excited to share Tailored Expressions' brand new colors of ink and cardstock on 3 cards that I created for you today. So I'm going to be using the Petal palette layering stencil. I'm going to create 3 cards using this. I'm also using the Petite scalloped rectangle Stacklets. And then we've got this beautiful paper. We have the Royal Icing, Papaya, Persimmon, and then Tiki, Mule, and then the coordinating inks. I'm also going to be using Toffee Cardstock, Sugar Cube Cardstock, and the Hello Lovely stamp and coordinating die. So I die cut A2 size pieces of the Toffee Cardstock, and I am going to start with 2 color combinations. The Royal Icing, and I think it's the Papaya, yes. So this is just going to have 2 colors. The next one I'm going to be doing will have all 4 colors, and then the third one will have the 2 other colors. I thought this would be fun on Toffee cardstock. I think it just elevates when you're using a different, like a craft color type cardstock. And then you can see these beautiful colors on top of it. Obviously, these would be beautiful on white cardstock as well, or a light gray. Anything like that would be really, really pretty. So there are 4 layering stencils in the Petal palette layering stencil. And because I'm just using 2 colors, I'm using Papaya for all of the flowers and Royal Icing for the leaves and stems of the flowers. So you're going to get 3 flowers out of these. And if you notice, I'm going darker at the bases of my petals and leaves and going lighter towards the tip. It just gives you a nice look to give your stenciled images some shaded areas, some lighter areas. Between the layers of the flower petals, I'm using darker and lighter. So it really does, even if you're just using 1 color, it gives it a really nice, interesting look. So I think we're finished with this one. So pretty. Let's go to our next one. I'm going to use the Papaya again. I'm using the Royal Icing again, but now I'm going to bring in the Persimmon and Tiki, Mule, and I'm going to go back and forth. Again, there's 4 layering stencils. So Royal Icing and Tiki, Mule will be for the leaves, and then Papaya and Persimmon will be for the flowers. I didn't have any particular way that I was doing this. I just went every other stencil and it came out beautifully. Look at how gorgeous that Persimmon is, and look at how beautiful this Tiki Mule is. I love a good teal, aquamarine, blue, green. I love it all. That's always my favorite, and I just think that one is so pretty. So now we're on to the 3rd stencil and back to the Papaya, and each of the stencils are numbered, and each of the stencils have little registration marks. So I'm lining it up to the A2 size outside registration marks, and so everything lines up nicely. Back to the Tiki Mule and back to the Persimmon. Let's get those going. Oh, it's so pretty. I think I have to bring back in number 3 because I forgot the stem on this flower, and this was Royal Icing. So let me just do that one. So pretty. And then the 3rd one is Persimmon and Tiki Mule only. So just like the first one, I did Papaya and Royal Icing only. Now I'm going to do this only. And this gives us darker, lighter, and then a mix of the 2 colors. I do have to say, my favorite is the mix of the 2 colors, but I just thought it would be fun to really see how these colors shined on their own and then together. Super quick and easy. I'm using bitty blender brushes to do my ink blending. I feel like I have, especially because these images aren't big, I feel like I have more control on where I can add my shading and where I don't want shading. So bitty blender brushes for the win for sure. Let's get that Tiki Mule. And this is our 4th and final one. And I think it's so pretty. Then I am using the Petite scalloped Scallop Rectangle Stacklets. I'm using the second largest one, and I'm going to die cut each one of the stencil panels we just created in this exact same way. I'm going to tape this down and run it through my die cut machine, and that's for all 3 of those. I am using sugar cube re-inker with a little bit of water, and I'm going to splatter all of these panels. I just think the white splatter on the craft cardstock is so pretty, and it just gives us a little something extra to look at on this background. And then I can set those aside to dry, and we're going to create our sentiments. I'm using the Hello Lovely stamp set and coordinating die, but I'm only using 1 sentiment. I'm using the Forever Grateful sentiment, and I'm going to do that for all 3 cards. I'm using Papaya, Persimmon, and Tiki Mule inks. I need a lot of thank you cards in my stash, so I thought this is a great way to do this, but you could choose multiple different sentiments for these cards. And then let's bring in that Tiki Mule. So the first one is Papaya, the second one was Persimmon, and now Tiki Mule. So now you can see what they look like on white cardstock as well. So pretty. Then I'm using the coordinating die to die cut out each one of these. So again, I'm just using low tack tape to tape the die cut in place, and then I can run that through my machine. Then I have sugar cube card bases, and I'm going to adhere my large rectangle from the rectangle Stacklets. I'm doing the large one. I did it from Papaya, Persimmon, and Tiki Mule. So this is going to be our background, and then I will adhere our stenciled card panels to these as well. 2 of them I did on the angles, and 1 I did in the center. And then I'm going to add the matching color of ink to the matching color of the background, if that makes sense, the background color. So, and then I'm just going to pop those up with some foam sticky strips, and then I'm going to finish these off with pearl drip drops. I just thought that was a nice little extra touch, and we're going to add 3 of those to each one of these cards, and then we can take a look at these up close. What do you think about these brand new colors? I absolutely love them. I love all of Tailored Expressions colors. They're so beautiful, and these are no exception for sure. Love that stencil too, and that sentiment is fantastic. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it so much. You can find all of these products at the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com.